Alright, welcome to a competitive commander gameplay video. This battle is taking place over Cockatrice, and we're all participating in a Cockatrice tournament, and this is the first game. Now I'm playing Najeela the Blade Blossom. My opponents are enchanter, played by Orb. Jodah then is played by Dude Nice, and Tasigur the Golden Fang is played by Lightning.
And the game begins. Dude Nice is a starting play, put a Badlands into play, but Orb has a starting effect, Chancellor of their Necks, that puts a stax effect on all opponents. The first spell they cast is countered unless they pay 1. So Orb pauses turn. I put a Arid Misa into play, crack it, pay a life and find Taiga. Cast Chromox for 0, but because of the angel, I have to pay 1. So I tap my Taiga and cast Chromox. Imprint something. After thinking a bit, I imprint Wild Growth. Now my Chromox taps for green. I pass turn. Orb puts Marsh Flats into play, crack it, find Scrublands, cast Imperial Seal and lose 2 life. He casts Mana Crypt and Swift Foot Boots and passes turn to Ice, who play Sensei's Divining Top. Because of the angel, he's counterspelled. Dude casts Soul Ring, have to pay 1 extra, and then cast Celestia's Signet and pass turn. I put an Underground Sea into play and cast my commander and pass turn. Now Orb loses 2 life. Found Underground Sea, casts Chromox, taps everything, 5 mana, casts his commander, equipped Swift Foot Boots, and attack Ice and find Mana Vortex.
Let's actually take a pause and look at what Mana Vortex actually does. Normally, Sir usually fetches Necropotence and tries to win the game from that. However, Orb is playing a stax Sir. That means that he's going for something different. He putted Mana Vortex into play turn 2. One interesting thing about Mana Vortex and Sir is that when you cast Mana Vortex, you are forced to sacrifice a land card. However, Sir Enchanter in this case did put Mana Vortex into play. Orb doesn't need to sacrifice a land. Now what Mana Vortex actually does, and why it's going to have such an impact in this game we're currently playing, is that because in each player's upkeep, that player is forced to sacrifice a land card. I guess that you could compare it to Braid's Cabal Minion, casted turn 2. And even worse than that, because Orb did fetch it from the command zone. He did cast Sir Enchanter and gave it haste, and then fetched it Mana Vortex from the library. That's pretty nasty.
Because of this, Dude is forced to sacrifice his Seed of Brass and pass turn. Dude sacrificed Tropical Island and Bayou into play, taps 3 mana and casts Fist of Sun. My turn, I untap, sacrifice Taiga, go to combat, attack with 2 warriors, and deal 4 damage to Orb. Second main phase, put Badlands into play and pass turn. Orb loses some life to his Mana Crypt, sacrifice Underground Sea, put a Flagstone of Turakir into play, and he casts Demonic Tutor. I'm going to respond by casting Shadow of Doubt. Players can't search libraries this turn, and I draw a card. Therefore, Orb passes turn. Ice discards the hand size. Dude sacrifice a land and pass turn. I sacrifice my Badlands. Cast Inquisition of Kozilek, targeting Orb. He immediately discards Pox. I'm really happy about that. I put a Tarnished Citadel into play. Green, colorless, Sylvan Library, attack with 5 warriors. This time Orb is going to block a token and take 5 damage. His turn. He goes to combat this time against Ice. Find Grasp of Fate, exile my commander, and Celestia's Signet. Flooded Strand and pass turn. Ice discards down to hand size and pass turn. Dude sacrifices Badlands and pass turn. I sacrifice my Tarnished Citadel and untap. With my Sylvan Library, I find Volcanic Island, Mindblade Render, and Gitaxian Probe. I decide to grab the Mindblade Render, and I cast it. Combat, I attack with 2 warriors. Against Orb, he takes 2 damage. I draw a card and lose a life. I draw my Volcanic Island, play it, cast Ponder. I find 3 cards I don't want, so I shuffle and draw Flusterstorm. Turn goes to Orb, who loses 3 life to his Mana Crypt. And cast Fellow's Stone. Attacks with the Enchanter against Ice. And finds Necropotence. He is now going to pay a bunch of lives to draw a bunch of cards. 3 life, draw 3 cards, 4 life, draw 4 cards, and a total of 5 life he pays and draws 5 cards in his end step. Then he passes turn and takes those cards. Ice draws a card and discards down to hand size and passes turn. Orb taps Celeste Soldering and casts Azura's Signet and pass turn. Untap, I sacrifice Volcanic Island, find a Mystical Remor, Lotus Petal and Verdant Catacombs. I grab my Mystic Remor and Verdant Catacombs and pay 4 life. Cast Mystic Remora, put Verdant Catacombs in play, attack Orb. This time he casts Containment Priest and blocks 1 token, so he takes 2 damage, I lose a life, and draw a card. I cast Lotus Petal and pass turn. He's casting the Mirror Signet, or so I draw 2 cards from the Mystic Remora, and then he casts Spellskite. In response, I sacrifice my land, taps 2 mana, cast Delay, and sends Spellskite away for 3 turns. Then he attacks me for 1 damage with his commander, and finds the enchantment Oath of Liliana. I'm forced to sacrifice a creature. Then he pays 2 life and draws 2 cards and goes to his end step and takes those cards. Ice draws a card, discards a card. The same with Dude, he doesn't do anything. On my turn, I untap. I sacrifice Underground Sea. My Sylvan Library finds Soldering, I cast that thing, attack with my Blade Render against Ice, and draw a card, Gaia's Cradle. I cast Sword of Feast and Famine and pass turn. Orb untaps, takes 3 damage from Mana Crypt, attacks, finds Phyrexian Unlife.
What Phyrexian Unlife say is that you don't lose the game if you have 0 or less life, but whenever you take damage, you will get a poison counter. Now all we really need to do is destroy Phyrexian Unlife, because Orb will be at 0 life.
And he casts Lionside Diamond, pay 4 mana for it, and puts Mishra Workshop into play. This time Ice finds something. He casts Mana Crypt, casts Fellowstone, and then taps Fellowstone to cast Bird of Paradise. He passes turn to Dude, and Dude passes turn to me. On my turn, I sacrifice Opal Palace, find Engineered Explosives. I cast Engineered Explosives by tapping 3 mana. It comes into play with 3 charge counters. I then equip my Sword of Feast and Famine, going for the greedy play, attack with my Blade Render against Dude. He discards a card, I untap all my land cards. That gives me 2 mana. And I explode the Engineered Explosive, destroying every permanent that costs 3, including my Sword of Feast and Famine and the Phyrexian Unlife, and that will kill Orb. And after that, I pass turn. Now Orb is dead, and I forgot to pay for my Mystic Remorse, so I sacrifice that thing too. Turn goes to Ice. He untaps. Pays, loses 3 life to his Mana Crypt. Goes to his main phase to cast Brainstorm. He casts Tasigur by exiling some cards. I take a look at his end graveyard, and he passes turn. Now it's Dude's turn. He passes turn. My turn, I untap. Exotic Orchard. I decide to cast my commander for 5 mana. I go to combat, generate a warrior, attack against Dude, draw a card and lose a life. Ice turn, he casts Eldritch Evolution. As additional cost, sacrifice Tasigur. In response, I sacrifice my Lotus Petal and Flusterstorm Eldritch Evolution. Now Tasigur is in his command zone. Turn goes to Dude. I shake his graveyard. He taps for 5 mana and casts Ulamog, the Ceaseless Hunger, and exile my Mindblade Render and Commander. My turn, I untap. I find Beacon Call and take that one. For 7 mana total, I need to pay 2 life for Breeding Pool and Chromox. I cast my Najeela for 7 mana. Attack with my warriors, generate a warrior, deal 2 damage to Ice. Pass turn to Ice. Upkeep. He loses 3 life, draw a card. Carpet of Flowers. He goes to his second main phase, generate 2 blue mana from me. Cast Snapcaster Mage, and then cast Brainstorm. And then pass turn to Dude. This time he's doing the exact same thing, generating 5 mana to cast
Gisela Blade, and this is a really stompy creature card. However, in this scenario, against my Najeela, it is actually a hate bear, because the effect is this: if a source would deal damage to you or a permanent you control, prevent half that damage rounded up. That means that my 1/1 warrior will deal 0 damage. And that means that even if I overrun against this dude, this creature card will always prevent the damage. So I need to get rid of this to win the game.
He goes to combat against me. I mill 20 cards into exile. I'll lose a lot of stuff. You can see here. And then I don't block, so I take 20 damage. My turn. I untap everything. My Sylvan library, find Bayou. I grab the Bayou, doesn't really matter. Put the Bayou into play. Tap Soul Ring, cast Demonic Tutor. I have 1 mana floating. I find my Sword of Plowshare. Cast Sword of Plowshare to exile the Angel. Then for 4 mana I cast Nature's Will. It resolves. I go to combat with my warriors, generating more warriors. And now I attacked both players. This means I have 2 triggers on Nature's Will. That means I will be untapping my land, all my lands twice. So I tap my 2 lands, generating a green and a blue mana. First trigger, I untap all my land cards from the Nature's Will. Then I tap Bayou for black, Exotic for white, more blue, more green, tap Gaia's Cradle for a lot of green, doesn't really matter. Then second trigger, because I attack 2 different players, I untap all my land cards once more, Exotic Orchard for red, and I win the game.
Now Nature's Will always give me all 5 colors so that I can activate this legendary Blade Blossom's ability, and that will give me infinite combat steps and take the game in a victory. Now what I think was the MVP cards for me this game was definitely Shadow of Doubt. I disrupted that Demonic Tutor and also delayed that Sir from attacking and searching his library for yet another annoying enchantment. But also Sylvan Library and Mind Blade Render, they did draw me a lot of cards. And that made it possible for me to always put a land card into play each turn and always have an answer, a way to deal with all my free opponents. Thank you so much for watching this EDH battle with me.